Oh my God. Oh yeah.
Beeping that it's out of fuel.
I never even got to drive it on. It was that the one. Get the air out of it, then?
Yeah. Yep. Out there was a check valve. Well, they thought the check valve actually was bad. It was just that it was airlocked. So. Oh wow, I didn't realize them duals come off that easy.
He can live in it as far as that goes. He's got a refrigerator.
Really?
Yeah.
All the 70 series combines.
Anywhere from 70 to 80.
70 to 85 range. The 60 series, the series before, they were in that 55, 60 range. You backing it off?
Sure.
Alright. Just go really slow after you guide you.
Yeah. We definitely need a backup camera on this. Yep, thanks, Paul. put 80 gallon in. That's hilarious. Wow. Doesn't seem, that is absolutely huge. Well guys, welcome back to Werner Farms. So by now, all you guys know what the new purchase was. Yes, it was a combine. Most of you guys were guessing either a combine or a sprayer. At this time, we're not considering a sprayer, but someday I would still like to upgrade to a 4730 or a 4830 like what I was talking about. So yes, this is the world's largest combine that John Deere makes, the S690, or, well, technically the S790 is the newest and latest and greatest, but still basically the same size as this one, except more features. But anyways, so the reason why we ended up with a combine was because we didn't pick up like ground that we're going to farm from start to finish. It's just going to be custom work, as in custom harvesting. So, as you guys know, in one of my videos, or the past 3 harvest videos, the last 3 actually, we did some custom work. It was about 135 acres. Well, 135 acres now turned into all their acres. So we will be doing an extra 1,000 acres-ish, along with our own, which is about between 15 and 1,700. I haven't quite figured the acres quite exactly. So for a total of 25 to 2,700 acres we will be harvesting. So, as you know, we were looking at a 9870. And the previous week, before this auction, we went down to Fowler or Walton, Indiana, and looked at a 9870 on auction time, and just about bought it. Just went a tick too high for what we were interested in buying it for, and then we decided to go to Mowrey's because we saw another 9870 we were looking for. So, and that very same day we found out that yes, indeed, we were going to be doing all that work, the extra custom work. So our theory originally was to buy one bigger combine than what we've got, like one big combine, get rid of the 9650, get rid of our 893, go to a 12-row, and run that. Well, we did some thinking, and we realized the smarter thing to do would be buy a decent-sized combine, such as like a 9870 or even a 9770 if we actually were totally interested in one of those, but we were more leaning towards a 98 just because of preference and what we like about them. And so we were thinking run a 9870 along with our 9650 and run 2 combines. Say one on ours or one on theirs, or both on theirs, or even both on ours. Obviously, probably not both in corn on ours, just because of we would catch up to the dryers so fast and fill up our holding bins so quick that there would be no benefit to running two in corn on ours, basically. So that was our theory in going down to Mowrey's, and hopefully, or we were hopeful in getting a 9870, which, as you all know, we didn't. And we started watching the S series sell, and our combine that we were looking at, the 9870, was going to sell at the very end. And the more we got to looking at it, the more we weren't liking it, as in cosmetic appearance, it wasn't very well taken care of. It didn't seem like it was washed a lot and taken care of. Mechanically, it was about, I would say, 65-70% good. There was some wear on it, and definitely some stuff needed to be replaced on it. I don't remember the hours offhand on that. I'm not going to discuss hours on this machine, even though some of you guys probably saw the hours. We are totally comfortable with those hours. Yes, we would have liked to have something around the 1,000 separator hour range, but, you know, it's all boils down to money. And yes, some of you guys are probably thinking with those hours, you're not very well upgrading. For us, yes, this machine was in immaculate, and I mean immaculate condition. This thing, I believe, at least as far as we know, was taken to John Deere, it seemed like, every single year that this guy owned it. I believe this was just a one-owner combine, and yeah, washed and waxed. Washed and waxed before it came to the auction even. And this thing was extremely, extremely well taken care of. And, obviously we're not going to do anything but that also, as we do with all of our machines. But, but yeah, so we were considering running one machine or two machines. And yes, with two machines, you have double the maintenance and double the wear and, etc., etc. So the more we got to looking at the 9870, the more we didn't like it. And then we started looking at this S690, because this was one of the few that only had a power fold bin down there. The S680s, that's what we would be considering more of than a 690. Had the John Deere grain tanks on it, and if those of you that don't know what the John Deere grain tank is, it's basically a Mowrey bin extension, but on steroids. This thing, our Mowrey bin extension on the 9650 was 18 inches, whereas the one on the S series is 32 inches, and we would have to fold it down everywhere we go, whereas with this, we can get around with it leaving it up. So the more we got to thinking, the more the power bin was more appealing to us. At least it always appealed to me. Dad was just kind of skeptical about getting a power fold bin, but once he realized that the 680s there, along with the grain tank design on them, he realized it's better off to look at something with a power bin. Which this does have the power fold bin, which I showed you guys a little bit earlier. Which capacity on that is, I believe, 400 bushel, which I'll climb up in the back and show you guys. But yeah, so we started looking at this S series, and we were extremely, extremely impressed with this S690 on how well it was taken care of and how well of a condition it's in, and overall, really, for the year it is. Most of you guys are, if you're familiar, this is a first year model, or model year 1 for the S series. 2012 was the first year for the S series. And some of you guys are probably wondering, why in the world would we go with a first year model combine? It all basically, some of you guys were sending me that, and basically the only thing I can say is we're not afraid of any year combine, really. we've got our preferences. We don't really care for the 60 series. We don't care for, you know, certain models. You know, we don't really appeal towards the 9770s or the 9670s or the S670s or even the 9660. You know, we have our preferences that we don't like for what we would like to use, and you know, we're not really afraid to work on anything. Obviously, you know, we obviously know that we're going to be working on it some, and it's for what I feel what we got for this, which was an extremely big like discount compared to what you would pay at a dealer. You know, we got this for an extremely good deal. We definitely did good on this one. And, you know, I'm not afraid of the 2012s. Dad's not afraid of the 2012s. I mean, we're comfortable with it, and it doesn't have def, so that's nice. Would I like a 13? Yes, I would like a 13, but you know what? This is just as nice. I mean, my God, it's got every option except leather seats and a 2630 display on here because this is just a standard little GS3 command view. It does have the monitor bracket though, so that's nice. And it does have the John Deere refrigerator. So, and that's cool. That it also folds down to a table, which I did not know until later messing with the seat. So, I guess I can do a little bit of a walk around on it and discuss more on what we're going to be doing with the 9650, along with other things that's going on. So those of you that have never been in an S series, this is the new door design. It's a lot higher, I believe. It's about level with that corner right there straight across is about where the door was for the previous models, 70, 60, and 50, and even before the 50 series. So they added a lot more visibility, which is nice. They removed the vents on the corner posts and pretty much completely removed the corner posts and put the vents all up above, put a little display over there. There's a command view, which if you're familiar with the 70 series, that's basically what this is, but with more options. All your buttons and controls are over here. Pretty much a little bit more updated than what the 70 series and previous series models before that was. A little bit nicer of a hydrostatic handle. The radio's over there. This does have heated and electric mirrors, so that's cool. And like I said before, this does have the power bin, or power fold bin, I guess you could say. One thing I am a little surprised about is that John Deere made the windows so small. I noticed this when I was looking at these at the farm show, but I'm just shocked, especially now looking at this closer, how small this is. That's quite surprising how they made that. So moving on to the outside, yes, like I've been saying, this does have a power fold bin. They replaced almost all the, I guess you could say, canvas on the corners here, all except the one on the right over there, the front right. It does have a slight tear in it towards the very bottom of it. Not above the grain tank, but kind of inside the grain tank, so maybe we'll end up replacing that one, but it doesn't seem like it should be too big of a deal. The nice thing they did on this was they actually have these latched, kind of, so you kind of get a pull on it a little bit. For the most part, the grain tank's fairly clean. This does have a double fold ladder, which I didn't really understand that until you actually twist this, and this piece will twist here, and you can angle the ladder even more. I'm not going to do that because, or show you guys how to do it, just because you need to have two hands to do it, and where it's easier with two hands, and I don't have my mount for my GoPro. It's in the shop, actually. So As for tires, these do have the Goodyear tires on them, same size as what our combine has, which offhand I do not know what size these are. All I can remember is that they're the same size as the ones on the combine, but actually these set 2 inches shorter than the Firestones, which we run Firestones on the combine, on our old combine. On the back here we have Firestones, 28Ls. We're not a big fan of either of these tires, the Goodyears on the front or this Firestone tread design on the back. We would more, if you can kind of see, like to have a tire like that, those 28Ls that are on the back of the combine, which are Firestones also. We would like to have something similar to that and put on the rear here, because these are, in our opinion, more of a rice-styled combine tire or something. It seems like a very aggressive lug design, and we're not quite a fan of that design. I believe, offhand, yes, this is 4-wheel drive. We probably will end up changing the front tires to either 650 duals, obviously Firestones, or metric floaters, possibly 1250s maybe, Firestones as well for those. They updated a lot of features on this. This does have DEF, and one of my favorite things, I'm glad, well, 2 of my favorite things that are on it is the PowerCast tailboard, and the auger is now 26-foot auger, unlike our previous auger, which was 20 or 22 foot with the extension that we have on it. So now we won't be running as close to the 35-foot head as what we normally are. One thing I am going to change, though, I am going to change that auger boot. I talked with a buddy of mine from John Deere, and he highly recommended that, just to put the modern styled S-Series auger boot on there to help prevent any increased wear on the end of the auger. So I'm not sure exactly what you want to call these, but I'm just going to call them paddles or fins. It seems like these are all brand new, it seems like, or fairly new on the tailboard here, on the hydraulically driven spinners. So that's cool. I definitely like the filter design on the back here. I really like that compared to the 50 series. That is a huge improvement, I feel, especially just coming from a 50 series to an S series, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. Fuel tank capacity, 330 gallon. That's huge. This has a 13.5 liter, 800 and some cubic inch engine. The track tractor has a 12.5 liter, so this actually has a bigger engine than the track tractor, which, by the way, that is sold. So going to somewhere north of Fort Dodge, Iowa. So there you go. We did not paint the inside of the grain tank, nor did the previous owner. We believe the auction company did. We don't know for sure why, but that is what they chose to do. But yeah, so this grain tank does hold 400 and some bushel, which that is absolutely insane. I believe right at 400 or so. So absolutely insane compared to our previous combine. Okay, so now that I'm back in the cab, I'll go ahead and discuss what our plans are for the old combine. Well, we thought about selling it outright. And we realized, one, this is not combine season to be selling a combine, and we're not going to sit on that for a while. I would say probably until late summer of next year. Now, we could sell it right now. But I mean, it's not a problem, but we would just not get the price that we would want for it. So we are going to trade that in trade the 893 in also, which is a, I don't know, late 1990s, came from Sloan's, over in Illinois, used, and we were, I don't know, the second or third owner of that head. Already well used already then, and we pretty much got all the life out of it we could until we need to completely do a rebuild on it. So we're trading that in and that head in, which that also, by the way, does not have hydraulic deck plates, which some of you thought, but it doesn't. And we're going to a 12 row on this. Some of you guys are probably wondering why we're not going to a 16. Well, capacity in trucks. We would fill up the, we have less trucks than what we could handle for a 12 or a 16 row, so there's no reason in going to a 16 row, and especially not being able to unload the combine and completely empty out the combine all the time. So with a 12 row, I feel we could still get around with it good. Same as an 8. I mean, basically, you're putting a 12 row. A 12 row on a 690 is like a 8 row on a 680. You know, that's what the guy from John Deere basically told me that I'm buddies with. But whatever. I mean, it'll work for us, and especially for what we got, especially for what we got it for. I feel this is going to be a good combine. So, as for our draper head, we run a McDon. We used to run a 25-foot on the 9650, and then went to a 36-foot, and went to, well, that 36-foot was a 36-foot Carrera, which I've mentioned a couple of times, and then we went to a 35, which was what we have now, McDon FD70, and we are not entirely sure if we're going to run the 35 on this or not, or maybe we would like to go to something bigger. So, depending on what we entirely decide to do regarding our grain head, whether or not we decide to go bigger on that or not, which more than likely this thing could easily handle anything bigger than that. But regarding to a 35 on this, that's like a toy. But I don't know. We might just run the 35 for a little bit and then slowly go up to something bigger, or I don't know. We'll have to figure that out later. So, but for now, we have a 690, and yeah, still hard to believe. Put it that way. I'll have to figure out how to put the Midland radios in here. I'm still thinking about how I'm going to do this yet. I've got some ideas, but as for mounting the antenna, I'm still kicking around the idea of how I'm going to do that again, compared to how I did it on the 9650, so I got to figure out that. Monitor-wise, I'm thinking I'm going to update the 2600 and go to a 2630 and buy a second 2630 and Starfire 3000 and put that on the 8530. So we'll have a 2630 in here and an extra 2630, which I'll run in the 8530, so we'll be able to put either of those in the 4650 for when we're planting, so because we're going to be running in hydrous with the 8530, so as far as I know. So, but anyways, that's basically what we got. So I guess comment down below what your thoughts are. I know some of you guys aren't going to agree, but I mean, this is what we got. This is what we're going to be dealing with for quite a while. So all I can say is prepare for the drone videos of this thing in action. You guys are going to love them. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. And don't forget to give this video a like, and I will catch you guys in the next video.